Hi, I'm Dustin Abbott, and I'm here to do another one of my showdown videos, one that a lot of you requested. And as soon as you suggested it, it made a lot of sense to me. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get in a Sony Zeiss 55mm f1.8 ZA for this comparison, but Sony did send me one as a part of doing the new A7R Mark VI review, A7R6 review, and so as a byproduct, I can put it up against the new contender, which is the Viltrox EVO 55mm f1.8. So comparing both of these on Sony here today. Now, when I first reviewed the 55mm ZONY, as I'm going to call it here in this segment, it was a long time ago because this is an old lens at this point, and frankly, I walked away from that review without a particularly high opinion of the lens. I thought that it was very competent in many ways, but I didn't find it very exciting, somewhat bland. And part of that is that at the same time I was reviewing the Sony Zeiss Planar 50mm f1.4, I felt that that lens had a lot more special optics to it. So fast forward today, I thought, you know what, a lot of people really love this lens. Maybe I need to give it another shot and see if my impression of it has changed any. So we're going to dive in, we're going to compare these across a lot of categories, and we will crown a winner here today. So let's dive in, and first of all, let's take a look at build and handling. Now, the first and obvious advantage for the Viltrox lens is the price is radically lower than what the ZONY's is. You can get this lens for $370 USD, a little bit less with discount codes like one in the description down below, whereas the ZONY lens cost about $1,100 in terms of its MSRP. Obviously, it's been on the market for a while, so there's lots of used copies out there. There are sales, but however you slice it, it's a lot more expensive in terms of MSRP. It's about 3 times as much, and so huge difference when it comes to the overall price. Now, one thing that has held up really well about this lens is how compact it is. It is just 64.5 millimeters in diameter and right over 70 millimeters in overall length, whereas the EVO lens, while compact, it is 69 millimeters in diameter and 78 millimeters in length, making it 7 millimeters longer, 4.5 millimeters wider in diameter. And so definitely a win for the ZONY lens there. That also plays out when it comes to the weight of the lenses. The Sony lens is just 281 grams versus 385 grams for the Viltrox. That is a whopping 100-gram difference between the two. You're definitely going to notice that. Now, part of the extra weight for the Viltrox is the fact that it's got a lot more going on in terms of its feature set. It has got an aperture ring that can be clicked and declicked. It has got a custom or function button on the side. It has got an AF/MF switch and, of course, a manual focus ring, whereas the ZONY lens, well, if you count the Zeiss badge on the side, well, that's its only feature. It's got a manual focus ring, and outside of that, it's got nada. So a big win for the Viltrox on that front. Likewise, the Viltrox is able to focus much closer, just 43 centimeters versus 50 centimeters for the ZONY lens, and the resulting magnification, 0.16 times for the Viltrox, 0.14 times for the ZONY lens, and you can definitely see a difference between the two when you are looking at magnification between different objects. It definitely shows up. Both of them on paper have weather sealing. However, I have always wondered about this lens, and I'm still wondering today how they can call it weather sealing when it does not have a weather sealing gasket at the lens mount. Now, I'm assuming there has to be some kind of seal somewhere, but the Viltrox has a really obvious, nice thick gasket here, and it has some internal seals as well. And so I'm going to not award any points here, but call me a skeptic. I don't know how you can claim weather sealing when the #1 point of egress for a lens, there's no gasket there. That's what we consider the most basic of weather sealing, when there's a gasket in place. None here. So, you know, no points, but kind of a win for Viltrox here. Both of them have 9 rounded aperture blades. Now, the ZONY lens has a 49 millimeter front filter thread. The Viltrox lens has a 58 millimeter front filter thread. I'm not going to reward any points there because that's either an advantage depending on what filter size you have. Neither one of them is really any different in terms of price, in terms of buying them, and so not really a definite win. So at the end of this round, we have got 3 wins for the EVO, so 3 points there, 2 points for the ZONY lens, so a mild win coming out of this for the Viltrox. Moving on to autofocus, and this is an area where, frankly, I was surprised at how well this older lens has held up. It had a linear focus motor that doesn't have any of the designation of what any of Sony's current linear motors do, but it still focuses really, really well, actually. There's an STM focus motor in the EVO lens. As we're going to see, both of them focus at about the same speed. So there's not really an advantage for the ZONY lens when it comes to the focus, either indoors or outdoors. Both of them have a good but not G-master level of focus speed. And so both of them go back and forth with a good pace, but it's not like instant fast. But one thing that I did notice is that there is the ZONY focus motor is quieter. There's a little bit of a clicking sound you'll hear with the STM from the EVO lens. And so both of them focused accurately, both of them focus quickly, but the ZONY lens focuses quieter. So I'm going to give it a point there. So we're now tied 3 points each. Now moving into the video section, here's where some focus but some other feature things come into play here. When it comes to my touch to focus test, the results were basically the same. And I say that because both of them were just as responsive when I touched the screen to actually focus. They both focused in a smooth sweep without any visible steps. Neither of them did any pulsing or settling. One win that I will give for the EVO lens is that it exhibits less focus breathing. And you can see as they go back and forth, the ZONY lens actually breathes more, though it will have access to focus breathing compensation if your camera is so equipped, whereas the Viltrox lens will not. The same thing that I noticed previously about the quietness of the focus motor does apply here, however, and I did notice slightly less noise for the ZONY. I didn't notice as much on my own camera, to which I have the onboard microphone tuned down a little bit, but when testing the A7R6 and doing some focus pull test, because its mic was up pretty hot, I could actually hear some clicking sound for the Viltrox lens, whereas it was completely quiet in those same kind of pull situations for the ZONY lens. However, there's a couple of other areas where the EVO does get some wins. One of those is when it comes to the manual focus experience. And so in this case, it not only has a little bit more feel than what the ZONY lens does, but this ZONY lens it's really, really sensitive in terms of how quick. It doesn't have much of a focus throw, and so focus changes are really fast. It's actually quite hard to focus precisely. It was quite a challenge when trying to test focus on my test chart at high levels of magnification, because I couldn't hardly do little precise pulls, whereas I could do that much more easily with the EVO lens. Likewise, the EVO lens, because it has a declickable aperture ring and an aperture ring, I could do aperture racking with the EVO lens, which is obviously just not an option on the ZONY lens. And so at the end of the day, when it comes to video, the EVO lens is the better lens because it's got the modern feature set and it's better positioned for actually video work. So coming out of that comparison set, 3 points for the EVO lens, bringing it up to 6 points, 1 point for the ZONY lens, bringing it up to 4 points. Our final category is when it comes to the optical performance. And here is where I think the biggest differences start to emerge. Now, first of all, when it comes to distortion, both of them have next to no distortion. The EVO lens has basically zero. I would say only like the tiniest amount of correction for the ZONY. The biggest problem with the ZONY is that it does have a little bit of wave that is present there, so it's a little bit more complex with what distortion it does have. And so I'm going to give a faint point here for the EVO lens. Things reverse for the vignette, however, and even though it is very compact, the ZONY lens holds up well there, needing just a +53 to correct for the vignette, whereas I needed a +71 for the EVO, so almost a stop further there, and so a win there. Now, in the sharpness categories, the EVO wins all of them. I'll award a couple of points here, but with wide open sharpness, and this is on that new 67 megapixel sensor. And so it's pretty obvious. The EVO lens, it's sharper in the center, it's sharper in the mid frame, it is sharper in the corners, and it's not particularly close. When I stopped down to f2.8, the same pattern remained. It is sharper in the center, it is sharper in the mid frame, sharper in the corners. I thought I would do a test at closer to infinity and a real world situation. And at f5.6, I found that the ZONY lens was closer, but not quite there in the center of the frame. But if you move off towards the edge of the frame, the EVO is clearly and obviously sharper there. And so part of the disadvantage that's here for this lens is that it just doesn't really ever get particularly sharp in the corners, whereas the EVO lens is pretty superlative in terms of overall sharpness. Likewise, when you're talking contrast, It didn't matter whether I was focusing on a close focus subject, a little bit further out, medium distance, and definitely when I got out towards infinity, the contrast was obviously superior on the EVO lens. Remember that it is an apochromatic style design, and so that helps contrast a lot. And so it's a definite win there. Another really obvious place where the EVO wins is when it comes to fringing, particularly longitudinal style chromatic aberrations. You can see on my test chart, there's an obvious difference between the two. If I'm shooting shiny or reflective surfaces, there's an obvious difference between the two. And if we're looking at bokeh or specular highlights, there's green fringing persistently on the Sony Zeiss lens that just isn't present on the EVO lens. So another big win there. When it comes to flare and the coatings on the lenses, there's not a big difference between the two, but what I did notice when I was doing some of my various shots is that when I was shooting video, and this, for example, in this scene, as the sun is kind of pulsing, as the branches move and it allows it to pulse through, when it does that on the ZONY lens, there's loss of contrast, some veiling that takes place, whereas contrast holds up on the Viltrox lens, so it gets a bit of a category win there. Now, in a more neutral space, there is a difference in the way that the glass renders from these two lenses. The ZONY lens, which is pretty typical of Zeiss glass, is a little bit on the cool side, whereas by comparison, the Viltrox is a little bit warmer. Now, this is a taste thing, but even when I equalized white balance between the two, the glass felt warmer from the Viltrox, and so that's going to be a taste-related thing, which you actually prefer those. Finally, when we talk about bokeh quality, I did a lot of kind of blind tests in this. So I brought images into Lightroom. I didn't look at, what lens had shot it on, and I was just trying to, do a blind test, which I preferred. When it comes to the overall bokeh rendering, I picked more of the ZONY lens images than what I did the Viltrox lenses, though it wasn't always the case. But I would say more of like a 60-40 type split. And so in terms of general rendering, I'm going to give a point to the ZONY lens on that front. When it comes to actually looking at specular highlights, or what you call bokeh balls, that strongly favors the EVO lens. If you look up close, there's concentric rings in the ZONY's rendering. And of course, we've already mentioned there's green fringing around those specular highlights. And so I don't like them as well as what I did with the Viltrox lens. I would say too, when it comes to the edge of the frame, they're close, but I would probably favor the rendering just looking up close from the Viltrox lens. It feels like it's a little bit more optimized right off to the edge. And that could have a little bit to do even with the optical properties we saw with sharpness towards the edges of the frame. And so that brings me to a total of point awarding of a whopping 8 points were gained by the Viltrox lens in this section, with only 2 being gained by the ZONY lens. So our final point tally is 14 points for the Viltrox and just 6 points for the ZONY lens. So that brings me to my conclusion. First of all, I know that a lot of you love this lens, and frankly, I came away from this second review with a more positive feeling about it than I did from the first. I appreciate the fact that it is compact and light, and I actually do like the rendering from the lens. I liked images that I looked at in general, as long as I didn't need a lot of contrast in those images. And so I think that it holds up fairly well optically. It's still very light, and the focus is still very, very good on the lens. It's accurate, it's quiet, it's relatively quick. And so I think it's aged pretty well over the years. So if you're someone that owns this lens, I understand why you like it. Hang on to it. But if you're buying new, it's hard for me to recommend the ZONY lens over the Viltrox when the Viltrox is about 1/3 of the price. It has far more features. It's much better optically. It's very easy to recommend it. And frankly, to me, if I'm spending this kind of money, I'd rather spend a few $100 and buy the lens that I'm filming with at the moment, which is the Sony 50mm f1.4 G Master lens, which frankly is pretty special. So at the end of the day, I think it's hard to recommend buying this lens new, particularly at about $1,100. The Viltrox is an easy win there, but this still is a really lovable lens. If you want more information, you can check out my full reviews of both lenses, which are linked in the description down below, along with some buying links there. As always, thanks for watching, have a great day, and let the light in.